Hello everyone, my name is Amina B. Hansi and my topic of discussion is user profiling in web search. This is my first page, intro.html. I am going to explain about the user profiling process happening in the web personalization technique. So as you all know, in our day-to-day life, we see development in online services. When the user tries to navigate from one place to another, he or she may receive ambiguous results. Therefore, the prediction of what actually the user wants or what actually the user is in search of can be addressed using personalization technique. So here I'm going to explain what is web personalization first, and then I'll explain what is user profiling process. So what is web personalization? It is a process that adapts information or services provided by the website to the needs of each a specific user or set of users. And this is the basic architecture of web personalization. You can see these are the databases and this website structure maintained at the back end. When the user submits a query, recommendation model will help the user to get back the recommendations for the query submitted by the user. At the back end, the web logs, website contents, website structure and user profiles are maintained to retrieve the results. And these databases and the contents will have the back-end process techniques involving data preparation as the first step, content and usage mining as the second step, recommendation engine as the third step. In data preparation step, site files will help to generate the content profiles, and the server logs will help to generate the usage profiles, that is called as user profiles. And once we have the content and usage profiles, that will be sent to the recommendation engine. Next we will see about the overview of the user profile. Here it consists of three steps, that is data collection, profile constructor and the technology or the application. In data collection, the data of the user will be recorded with the help of the demographic information, that is the explicit information or the implicit information. So that information will be sent to the profile constructor, where the user profile will be constructed, and that profile user profile will be divided in subdivisions of keyword profile and a concept profile, and those will be used to retrieve the results and send back to the user with the use of the application. This is about the overview of the user profile. Next we'll go with the architecture of the user profile. Here it uses a try-search engine. Here we have when the user submits the initial query, the query will be reformulated using a reformulation algorithm, and the patchwords will be added to that query, and a reformulated query will be using the context database, and it depends on whether the user will have the profile already generated or doesn't have a profile. So if he has a profile, then the retrieving the results will be easy, and if he doesn't have, then a general search will be performed. So once the query is refined, that result will be sent to the web search API web engine, where it will retrieve the recommended links to the user, and the results will be sent back to the user. This is about the architecture. Now we have the tools and the facilities involved in this user profile maintenance, that is previous query storage, retrieving the results, backup and restore, and relay download. In query storage, the initial query will be stored, and the count of the submissions will be stored. There are parameters like if we most frequently searched queries will be stored to retrieve the results very fast. Retrieving the results facility. Here to retrieve the results, when user enters the query will be reformed with the help of the user profile, and after this reform query, that will be sent to the search engine. This reform query will answer those links which has traversed the last search instance. So in backup and restore facility, the history of the search will be maintained to get the user with the helpful links and the recommended links. so that the next time when the user search for the next instance, then it will be easy to retrieve the results. The relate download, uh, when user searches the data, he or she may be downloading the document, so this facility will help the user to download the already available links in the local machine of the user. Next we have query reformulation algorithm. Here actually it takes the initial query from the user, fetches the previous entered queries of the user from the profile, and if the profile matches, then that will be compared to the already stored instance, and some patchwords will be added to get the results to the user. Else it will check the user profile and reform the query by adding some more parameters to the user profile. Then that query will be sent to the search engine, and if user refines the query, the third step will be repeated. Now we have phases. There are 3 phases: data collection, user profile representation, user profile construction. In data collection, we have 2 methods for user identification and methods for information collection. Methods for user identification, there are 5 approaches: software agents, logins, enhanced proxy servers, cookies, and session IDs. So software agents are referred to as the best, most reliable approach to store the data. Enhanced proxy servers are also treated as accurate user identification approach, but it has a drawback of user registration only with the proxy server. The techniques of cookies and session IDs, they will store the user ID. They will store the user ID on the user's computer, and when they revisit, the same user ID will be used on the session IDs. They will be based on the session similarly. Methods for user information collection, we have explicit and implicit. Explicit is like a demographic information, and implicit is like a based on the user feedback, the implicit user profile will be maintained. Next we have a user profile representation. Here the keyword profiles and the concept profiles comes into picture. Keyword profiles are a set of keywords, and they are generated automatically based on the user's behavior and the web documents. The weights are given to the keywords. Concept profiles are nothing but they are represented as vectors of weighted features. So here you can see one of the user's profile having the keywords and their weights. So home and the user's behavior of cooking 49%, homemaking 4%, entertaining 1%. So what is the user's interest is generated and listed here. In cooking again we have lessons and videos as the concepts, and the ratings, the weightage, how much user is interested in lessons and videos. So same way we have user profile construction. We have to similarly build the keyword profiles and the semantic profiles and concept profiles. Building keyword profiles, a single keyword profile will be generated for each user. So for example, if the keyword profile is for a sports and a keyword profile for a user, for example, if user is interested in sports and a cooking, a single keyword will point towards the middle of these topics, creating a picture that user is interested in cooking as well as he is an athlete. So you will get to know the user's interest and user's behavior. And about building the semantic network profiles, it depends on the explicit positive and negative feedback from the users. And about the concept profiles, they describe the profiles. They are similar to semantic profiles and the same like concepts. They will be given with the weightage, and depends again with the feedback of the user. Next we have management of the user profiles. There are 3 architectures: server based, cookie based, and client based. Server based, here the user profiles are maintained at the server side and they are managed at the server side. In cookie based, the user profiles are stored at the client side and managed at the server side. And similarly in client, we have user profiles stored and managed at the browser side. So the basic model used is server based architecture. In this you have maintenance of user profiles. What are the advantages? Different use of profiles like content based filtering, collaborative filtering, and user profile sharing. content-based filtering, where one profile is used to get the contents, and it is the most common use of a profile to store information to enable the personalization. It evaluates the document's relevance by matching the keywords contained in the user with the keywords extracted from the text. Collaborative filtering, this will allow a set of profiles, and based on the similarities in their profiles, recommendations will be generated to the users. User profile sharing, the user profiles can be shared across the applications and can be used as a recommendation to the users, various users. These are the advantages, and some of the limitations are like, as user profile approach present the same recommendation for all users with the same cluster, thus they do not consider some specific user preference when they represent a minority. And content-based approaches facilitate items retrieval by proposing some alternatives and recommending similar items to the one that the user is visiting. And thirdly, other user profile approaches try to determine the interest of each user, but they are limited by their item models. That does not describe the differences between item properties, so it lacks semantic description of the items. So that's why existence of ontology came, which actually talks about the relational concepts model, where the set of concepts is built and the relation between them is built. So what is the need? What is actually the ontology and what is the need? Ontology is nothing but the representation of knowledge as a set of concepts within the domain, as already said, and the relationship between those commands, between those concepts. These ontologies can be used for structuring the data, data and relating them, and delivering them to the user. What is the need of ontology model? An ontology is study of nature of being, existence, as well as the basic categories of being and their relationships. As a model for knowledge description and formalization, ontologies are widely used to represent user profiles. The reason why ontology is developed to explicit the knowledge contained within the software applications and within enterprises and business procedures for a particular domain, to reuse of the domain knowledge and to separate the domain knowledge from current databases. What are the advantages? There are some advantages. On ontology model, it discovers user background knowledge from user local instance repositories rather than documents read and judged by users as in the web model. Compared to the web data used by the web model, ontology model were controlled and contained less uncertainties. Large number of uncertainties were eliminated in the ontology model, and ontology process was used to calculate the impact of different ontology concepts on the user's navigational behavior. The conclusion is that web model was using the user profile in various ways, but it had some limitations with the uncertainties and documentary retrieval, which was taking a lot of time to retrieve, and that's why due to lack of accurate results, existence of ontology came into existence, and these ontology terms were used to map together the relation between the concepts and get back the results to the user. And these are my references. Thanks for watching the video.